Many European nations have reinvented blasphemy laws in the form of hate speech laws.
No, false. Just false. That's not the origin of hate speech laws. It wasn't like they were like, okay, so we have all these blasphemy laws on the books here in Canada. Should we change those into hate speech? Because that's just the natural evolution. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, sounds right. Yeah. Bien oui, bien oui. What happens when speech gets policed? You don't have to guess.
It's no secret that in today's America, free speech is under threat like never before. On college campuses, professors regularly decry free speech as a tool of oppression. In major newspapers like the New York Times, longtime editors are shown the door for publishing opinion pieces.
What?
Even those written by a sitting U.S. senator.
Oh no.
And online, where a Twitter executive once boasted of his company as the free speech wing of the free speech party.
Why are you being so ambiguous? What's with the vague posting? There's a lot of vague post. We know who you're. That's Jack Dorsey. I know you. I mean, you didn't really do a representation of Jack Dorsey. You gotta have the beard, and he's got to be inside an elephant placenta. That's what preserves him and keeps him youthful. But we know who you're talking about.
Every day seems to bring with it a new case of big tech censoring opinions and even news stories that 25-year-old Silicon Valley gatekeepers just don't want out there. Under the banners of equality, tolerance, and inclusion, legislators and activist groups promote solutions that crack down on so-called hate speech, which is not only impossible to define, but also invites the people with political, economic, or cultural power to silence dissenting voices.
They really want to say the N-word. They really want to say the N-word. And like, say it publicly, because they already say it at home, clearly. It's got to be one of their favorite words. But they want to be able to say it at Arbys. That's it, right? You would want to be able to go into an Arbys and just scream it at the top of their lungs and not face any consequences, which I think technically you still don't. That's like, I mean, I don't, in America, you can still do that. You can in Canada. No, there's hate speech laws here. So yeah, you can't do that here. But in America, I think you can still do that, right?
Before we continue down the road of...
Oh yeah, you get beaten the fuck up, and rightly so, as you should. But still, I mean, under the eyes of the law, you're totally fine.
Weakening free speech protections, it's at least worth asking, what happens when speech gets policed? Today, hundreds of speech laws exist around the world, so we can learn from other nations' experiences. These speech laws are vigorously enforced. Usually,
wait, we have some, well, this is official, by the way. This is me sourcing a source. Someone in the chat, G Flota. All racial slurs are legal as long as they are not directed at a specific person to incite violence. Otherwise, what is it? Just to have at it, kids. Enjoy yourselves. Ooh, try some new ones. Invent some new ones. Why not?
Usually to silence people who do not share the government's views on certain politically charged topics.
Uh-oh. I think I know where we're going with this. I mean, what else could it be? Oh, heavens. What spell will you cast upon us? Look, it's Typhus. Typhus horribleness.
Get this. Outside the U.S., the majority of countries criminalize the speech of their citizens.
My God.
That's right. When it comes to an individual's right to speak freely, the United States is the exception.
Damn.
77 countries in the world have blasphemy and...
It's almost like it was founded by slave owners.
related laws, with Muslim majority countries having the strictest punishments, including the death penalty. These laws are often used to settle personal disputes, with the mere accusation of blasphemy being enough to cause untold hardship. In Pakistan, for instance, courts sentenced Asia Bibi to death by hanging for allegedly making blasphemous comments about Islam during a disagreement with coworkers. It took 8 years of public, sustained pressure from all over the world to finally secure her safe release.
So you get the difference between someone criticizing religion, and I'm not going to go as far as being like, a little cheeky on the internet and say fiction, and someone, endangering someone else's life and or just making their life horrible on a daily basis by calling them like racial slurs, ableist slurs, transphobic slurs, homophobic slurs. Like you get that, right? There's a huge difference between like heresy, which I think we all agree is kind of medieval, and so we don't do that anymore. And then modern day people making each other's lives just absolutely horrid.
A Christian man was thrown in prison after a post appeared on his social media account that pointed out differences between Christianity and Islam. He believes that his employer uploaded the allegedly blasphemous content on his account to get revenge after a work dispute. While he remains locked up awaiting trial, his family is facing harassment and discrimination. Though the penalties for unlawful speech are far less severe in the West, many European nations have reinvented blasphemy laws in the form of hate speech laws.
No, false. Just false. That's not the origin of hate speech laws. It wasn't like they were like, okay, so we have all these blasphemy laws on the books here in Canada. Should we change those into hate speech? Because that's just the natural evolution. Yeah, oh yeah, no, sounds right, yeah. Bien oui, bien oui.
The goal driving all these laws is the same. As ADF International Executive Director Paul Coleman writes in his book, Censored, once the premise is accepted that the state must censor public debate through the coercive criminal law, there is no logical stopping point. Coleman continues, across Europe, hate speech laws are readily being used. Ministers of religion are arrested for preaching sermons from the Bible. Journalists are routinely fined, and even private conversations between citizens can result in criminal investigations.
Just any sources? All anecdotes? Okay, all right, cool.
Think Coleman is exaggerating? Consider an ongoing case in Finland. That's where Pavi Räsänen, a long-standing member of parliament, has faced multiple police interrogations for tweeting a picture of a Bible passage to her church leadership and for writing a short booklet 16 years ago to fellow church members on marriage and human sexuality. Her beliefs, authorities claim, may
Did you not see the the separation of church and state or any like y'all live in a secular society. I would assume, or at least you want to continue to do that. Are y'all monarchists? Is that what this is? Is this like Liberty Hangout? Is it happening all over again? I just want to pledge allegiance to the Queen.
Violate Finland's hate speech laws which weren't even around when she wrote the booklet. In Scotland, legislators are proposing a bill that could even criminalize Harry Potter creator J.K. Rowling's online defense of biological womanhood. While in England, police...
By the way, anytime you hear the words biological woman, you know you're in the turfy side of the internet. Yes, that's the turfy side of the internet.
Opened an investigation of an online commentator over his decision to interview the wrong historian on his YouTube channel. Humanity has repeatedly tried purging society of undesirable beliefs and ideas, but these speech censors always fail to grasp that they can easily become the targets of the very censorship regime they established. A quote often attributed to Thomas Jefferson says that, "Eternal vigilance is the price of liberty." As anyone who has studied history, follows current events, or read big tech's ever-changing terms and conditions could tell you, now is no time to fall asleep at the wheel. In America, we're facing two choices when it comes to speech. Guard our tradition of free speech for all, or follow the rest of the world and allow speech to be restricted based on the whims of the powerful. When you think about it, that's really no choice at all.
Wait. An Alliance Defending Freedom Generational Win Initiative? What is going on here? You could have just said like a little video or a vlog. An Alliance Defending Freedom Generational Win Initiative. Success. Deploy conservative ideology. What lies around the corner? Never knowing who's going to kill you. Are you the next one to be murked? You never know if it's a friend or a foe. If you want to see the biggest names in BreadTube and Left Twitch and Butterthing and I don't know the fucking names anymore, come see Left Among Us. If you want us to advertise your channel or work, please go to weareserfs.com and email us a 20 to 30 second ad and we'll take it on to the end of one of our videos to help promote your leftist channel or progressive something. Whatever you do.
To our God, I'm Rast, Xander Corvus, and Schlatsky, we shall commit blood sacrifices in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, our lives are yours to command. To our lords, Jeffrey Lamb, Trevor R., Stephen, Hans Josephine, Poppy Nelson, Ryan Lubin, Jimothy K. Meeblebeeps Jr., we bow meekly for your pleasure. To our Knights of the Round Table, Josh Mickelson, Dylan Bythe, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, Todd Lajeunesse, Political Puppy, Jimmy Bignuts, Andreas Chitoro, Good Poon Hates Cops, That's Solid Poon Then, Dr. Zayas, Yoppy, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Jack Darko, Thomas Barretton, J. Fraser Cartwright, Goofalankius, Melissa Murphy, Nicholas Marks, Alexander Thaler, Ali Rada Jaffer, Alex Gauvin, Radical Maniac, we salute you.